All right.
All right. Okay, cool.
Yay.
Hello, guys. This is the Tear My Glutes podcast. New title still pending. We're just a podcast for people who talk about Japanese subculture and various other issues slash experiences that we've had as participants in that subculture. Most of us, or all of us, are into idols primarily, or we hang out through our mutual love of AKB48 and the 48 groups.
What?
What?
But we also have.
But we also have
Other
other interests. Yes. So don't think this is just an idol podcast, because it's definitely not. So today's topic we sort of arrived at.
Who are we?
We are. Oh yeah, let's do introductions.
Well, introduce us so that we don't spend time talking about ourselves.
Right. Okay. So I'm Julia. I will be moderating today's episode.
Yeah.
We have Wilson.
Hi.
Yep. And we have.
Guys.
We have Joe.
What's up?
And our special guest for today is Emily, aka DJ Soy Milk. Two of our other usual members are unable to make it for today, so she's filling in.
I'll do my best.
All right, so today's topic was inspired by the AKB Sosenkyo general election prelims, and we sort of got to talking about fan-created content, because with the prelims and elections coming out, there's all these people putting out articles about who they think is going to win, and all that junk. And so we sort of became interested in fan-created content, and in general. So not just with idols, but with everything. So let's start off. What kinds of fan-created media do you guys like, and why? Is there anyone who'd like to start off?
Well, I'm a known fan fiction lover.
Jesus.
I like fan fiction, fan art. I like music covers, because sometimes groups will do music covers of, a song that was in a show or something. I don't know. I kind of like everything. I go on Tumblr a lot, so Tumblr is really a good source of all that kind of stuff, especially for fan art, is all over Tumblr. But also like funny edits. Like I like when people will edit photos and like memes, sort of, but other kinds of edits too. So pretty much everything appeals to me, but I'd have to say fan fiction is my favorite.
Okay.
So
why do you?
Fan fiction. Oh my god, fan fiction is so terrible.
I wish I was
about
writing
real
skills.
people. Oh my god, dude.
It's not always though.
Huh?
Right.
It's not always though. There's good fan fiction about fake people.
I can see that, right? Because I know, like if you go to Comic Head, right? There's a lot of Comic Head is practically all dojin.
Dojinshi? Yeah.
Yeah. So
My
like,
fave.
it's all fan created stuff, fan created. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. But like at the same time, I'm just like when you write fan fiction about real people, I'm just like, oh god, this is so weird.
I definitely agree with that. Because then it seems like almost voyeuristic. Then they actually exist in this world. They're not just some imaginary character.
Sure. I don't know, like I grew up reading fan fiction. It's just like a thing for me. Like I think I've been reading it since I was like 13 or something.
Oh god.
You start young, and then it twists your view of things.
See, I grew up reading fiction, not fan fiction.
There's some really good stuff out there, though. Like, not, like, weird or anything. Like, actual literature.
It depends. I mean, you can have mediocre stuff and it still gets good, i.e., 50 Shades of Grey, which was originally Twilight fan fiction.
And
I don't know if you shared a good example.
Dollars.
Oh god.
Terrible.
It's just so weird because like, well, I guess like sometimes it works out, but for the most part, it would be somebody like taking a character that somebody created, putting their own influences on it, which may or may not, and is mostly not true about the original author's vision.
Well, yeah, I mean, but not necessarily, because there's lots of different ways you can write fan fiction. You can like an alternative universe or like an alternative timeline, like all sorts of things. Or you can like do like a close to canon kind of thing. So it depends how that's written. I think for like anime and stuff where like you have a limited amount of content, like you have a set number of episodes, like fan fiction's really good for expanding on the characters in cool ways.
I don't know. I think there's, especially with Japanese culture, and especially as a foreign fan, there's like a lot of stuff that's available in Japanese that I think you would benefit more, or at least get to know like the actual like what they're thinking, as opposed to reading like fan stuff, especially from like the foreign perspective, right? Like if I wrote a fan fiction about NMB48, which is so bad. Oh my God, I even said that.
No, it exists though. It exists.
I know it exists. But I'm just saying, like, if I wrote, like, why would you read what I wrote when you could just, actually read their Google Plus or something?
Well, I think it's different because, like, with fanfiction, I think a lot of the time what happens is that you imagine things that aren't actually happening, i.e., like Sayamilky.
In our dreams, though.
Yeah, so it's like you know that they probably have like they're just friends, and they just do like that Sayamilky fan service, so because people are into it, but it's probably not actually happening, and so then you indulge your imagination by reading like the fan fiction, and so that's like something that you can't get from like their blogs and their tweets and whatever.
Wilson, help me.
I mean, I'm just saying.
No. I was about to say something. Like, yeah, that might be the case for like you guys and for many other people, but there are many other cases where there are people who alter their opinion on like a relationship or a person because of fan fiction, which is not, which we all know is not true. Like the fan fiction itself is not like factual.
It's literally fiction.
It's fiction. Yeah, but like like Sayamilky, Atsumina, all that good stuff. It's there's not a lot of I'd say evidence between like that strong relationship between them. I mean, they're both of those relationships have to deal with like their position in their idol groups. Like Sayamilky are both aces, and Atsumina, there's the ace and the captain. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't love each other in like a platonic way.
Right.
But the way like if they make eye contact all of a sudden doesn't mean that they're in love with each other in a more than a platonic way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but it's interesting you say that because I think a lot of times like in other communities I'm part of, like especially for like the Pokemon community, which I'm really big in, there are fan fiction writers who have like huge influence over the community because a lot of people in the Pokemon fandom are obviously young teens and who seem to be a lot more impressionable, and so like, there's like really commonly accepted headcanons. Like if you write about it enough, people start to think like, oh, this is canon, this is actually part of the story, but really it's just kind of like a fan creation. So I think fan fiction especially, and sometimes even fan art, there's a lot of power behind it. Like, you can change how somebody perceives the fandom and the work itself.
Yeah, that's why I think it's dangerous, like for people who have that power to branch off of the actual canon, because it's kind of saying it's like you're giving a big middle finger to the people who actually make the original content, and I would say that it's all up to people who read fan fiction to be careful about it. I mean, like, I don't want fan fiction to be like completely abolished from the world. Like, I think it's a good way to promote subculture, but like, yeah, it's all up to the readers for what you believe and how you take this entertainment. And DJ Soy Milk has left the building.
What the heck?
She thinks.
She doesn't want to hear me.
That's like, oh my god, that's so. Anyway.
Emily, what was going on? Why did you just leave?
My computer was dying. I need to get the charger.
Oh, okay. Well,
it was fully charged when we started, which was like 10 minutes ago, so I don't know what happened.
Our poor one viewer Whoever he is.
I'm
It
sorry.
might even be me.
I'm sorry, one viewer.
It might have been me. I don't know.
Because I'm watching the chat, but there's nobody there.
That's
what we
okay.
get for starting late and not. But anyway.
Right.
So back to fanfic. Like, I think it's cool that there are certain things that get born from fanfiction. I think Toho, I think, is one of the biggest ones that have actually emerged from like the fan community. Right? Because before it was just a game. And then I remember people were like, "Oh, you like Toho?" I'm like, "I don't know. I played the game. It's pretty hard. That's it." And then they're like, "Oh, what about this theme song and this character? Did you know this character likes this person?" And I was like, "Where did all this stuff come from? I thought it was just a game." And so now it's like, it has its own conventions and stuff. I'm like, "Oh God, what happened to Toho?"
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, I have read a couple of fan fictions before as well, and I gotta say, like, romance between idols is kind of bland for me now. I mean, there's a whole love band, and like, it's not necessarily what they're all about, especially between members. But like, the ones that I actually did like enjoy reading was there was this one where it was kind of like a battle royale parody.
Oh wow.
Of 48 members, and then like they were telling the story of what would happen to 48 members if they were forced into this battle royale program where they had to all kill each other, which was super interesting to me, and like I would love to like have those imaginations and read more about it, but it got canceled long ago, so unfortunately.
That sounds cool though.
Yeah. I mean, it's those kind of like abstract and like well thought out stories that I hope to see more people write about. But it's more about like, I don't know, Matsuri Rena and Matsuri Yurina living until they're like 90 years old or something.
Right.
And somehow magically, giving birth to a baby that's some other member like I don't know, Kimoto Kanon or something, I don't know.
God, that sounds terrible.
It is, yeah, but it's probably out there.
So you said it's like battle royale.
Yeah, it's like a battle royale concept.
Have you read battle royale?
I have not read battle royale.
See, why don't you just read battle royale instead of somebody's concept of battle royale?
Yeah.
The movie's pretty good if you don't want to read the whole thing. But I don't know.
That's just stuff that I think about. Like, why would you, read a parody of something when you can actually read the thing?
Well, it's like there's like crossover action, right? So if there's two things you love, like
combining it will be even better.
And you just combine it. It makes it so much better. No, not always. Not always.
Oh no.
Are you guys part of any other fandoms and communities besides idols? And like really developed communities that have like a lot of fan art, a lot of fan videos. Because that's another one like AMVs. Those I used to watch those all the time.
Oh Lord.
Actually, I hate them.
I love them. Oh my gosh. Some of them are really good. Like most of them are really cheesy and lame. Some of them I'm like, oh, I'm so emotional right now.
Same song.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's like really, I don't know. It depends, I guess.
I don't know. One thing I thought was really weird when I used to go to anime conventions, right? Like I would go to a panel where there would be like the director or whatever, of some popular show, right? But he's like the director. He's not like one of the voice actors or voice actresses. Or he's not a voice actress. I hope not. That's bad pronoun usage. But but like I'd go to these panels. There would only be like 15 or 20 people, and I'm like, yo, dude, they're like debuting new stuff. You can like watch what's coming out. Oh, that's pretty cool, whatever. Then you go to the AMVs and like you can't even get tickets to get in because it's sold out. I'm just like, wow, that's like a huge difference between like what some guy made out of somebody else's like creative footage.
Because they're
and just
pretty.
Put some music to it, versus like some guy that's actually making stuff. I thought that was like really weird to me. That like AMV, and I don't think AMVs are that popular overseas.
I don't know. Everybody I know, like, oh, you mean like in Japan?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. There's a lot of stuff. Like short. Well, for Pokemon, that's my usual reference. There's a lot of animators who will like make their own they'll draw their own story instead of taking clips from the show, which is pretty cool.
But for AMVs?
Yeah. They'll do like it's really cool. They've done them for like Naruto, Pokemon crossovers, like lots of stuff like that. You guys didn't answer my question.
So bad.
No, like they'll take the Naruto theme song, because Naruto's had some cool theme songs, and then they'll did it to Pokemon. Like they don't actually.
Sounds so bad.
No, it's
Yeah.
really good. Like, cause it's all like hand drawn, and it's really impressive. But are you guys part of any fandoms? I'm wondering.
Uh,
I admittedly am a fan of The Legend of Korra.
Yes, me too.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
and so then I'm a Korrasami girl.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
For
so many,
obvious reasons.
so many people were like really they were really fighting for it, especially
Yeah.
like in the third season. And there was so much fan art, and now that it's canon, there's even more.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. Like that's actually one of the things like that fan created content, like fan art and like fan fiction, is like pretty interesting because in cases where like I guess like we can go into shipping when like shipping isn't like defined yet. So there's like like that triangle, and then like with Twilight, like Team Jacob versus Team Edward.
Yeah.
It's like then people can create stuff like to sort of hype up people on their team.
Yeah.
And then you kind of see who wins in the end. So
Yeah.
i.e. Korsami.
I think Legend of Korra was a particular case though because the directors were really involved in what the fans were thinking. Because they both have Tumblrs, and I would see them post on Tumblr, and they would like reblog Korrasami stuff or like comment on it. Like they know we want this to happen, and then it did happen. So I'm not sure if they planned it that way or if it was just like fan popularity that influenced it.
From those stuff that I read, it's sort of, they said that it wasn't like they decided that that Korra and Asami would spoilers, that Korra and Asami would get together.
Oh no, I'm never gonna watch it.
That they would get together like before it started becoming like a huge like swell of.
Oh, okay.
That's what
That's
they said.
cool.
So.
I appreciated it.
Yeah. But like I was saying, back to the topic that that's like in situations like that fan created content sort of. It's like a good creative outlet for people who want to sort of participate together in being fans of this thing and like creating what's it called, like hot topics to discuss to the very end.
Well, and it keeps the community going, which I think is sometimes the most important thing, right?
Yeah, and like you still see stuff like even though the show's over, people are still creating their own like fan fiction, going back to that, and sort of like allowing it to survive like beyond. It's like
and forums.
Well, comics. There's comics too, Joe. Don't be so judgy.
Yeah, comics too. Like forums do the same thing, really. It's just not really fan creation. Like it's not it's not an artistic expression, I guess. But it is like your thoughts and your feelings and your words, in one place. So I think forums kind of fit this topic too, in a way.
Yeah. I'm also a brown coat. For like Firefly?
Okay. Yeah, I'm Joe. Don't worry. I got you.
What about you?
So lost.
Sorry.
I'm so
what about you guys? Are you guys any fans of other things that you?
When I think about I don't have anything that has they might have like a strong like fan influence, but I don't really pay attention to that.
Oh, I see.
Like Cosplay is alright. Like look, there's some person dressed up as some person. Okay, that's cool. Like their costume's nice, but like I won't go into it too much. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Wilson?
Out of idols, there's not much that I'm really into at the moment. Like right now, I'm into Destiny, and I used to be into League of Legends. In terms of League of Legends, as term of fan-made content, it's mostly like YouTube videos, like comedy or song parodies, and especially streams of the actual game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of unique. Video games have as compared to like other fan bases, because there's so many other things that you can make. Like you can't really stream, let's say Legend of Korra, and like you're commentating on Legend of Korra episodes with I mean just watch the actual episode, I guess. Right. But in terms of fan media that I like in general, you don't really see it often in idol fan bases, but I like seeing documentation and information of said community or the actual like, content itself. Like what I mean by that is like documentation. Uh,
What do you
if
mean
you,
by that exactly?
Like the
yeah,
facts? Like a character profile?
yeah, that like League of Legends has like a lore behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is
Oh.
weird, because nobody pays attention to it. But then sometimes I like to stop by and like watch somebody give a summary of the lore. So that's what I like. I like summaries of information that some contents have, and like their opinion on it and theories. Oh God, I love theories. And, yeah,
Why
I mean
not become
like
a scientist?
well, I'm an Asian studies major, so there's a lot of theories involved in that too.
Hmm.
Anyway, well,
Oops.
I mean, just like things that like make you think and like I just like knowing things, I guess. Like it's kind of hard to find all these things in like in the idol fandom because like, you can't really talk about theories without like getting into a fist fight with somebody, on Twitter.
Isn't that what people like though?
Yeah, well,
Fight.
Yeah. People love to
people
argue
like that.
about.
People like that, but sometimes it can get too irrational and it, like drives away too far from actual facts and like patterns and etc. I mean, we've seen that many times on Twitter, right?
Oh, I know you want to fire those shots.
I'll stay cool and professional, hopefully, maybe. But yeah, like, what do you guys think of like documentation of like a community, like when I say community, like they talk about your own like fandom, like what we do, or like we're doing our mockumentary for the SoCal Fan Club.
Right.
Like, what do you guys think of like information, documentation, and theories?
I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Julia.
Well, I agree with I like it when people sort of condense, like you were saying, talking about like lore in League of Legends. They just condense it like in a 10-minute video for me. As a lazy person, that's awesome because then it's like, oh, okay, and then I have like a crash course in it, and then like with like Joe had like an NMB podcast. I'm like, okay, great. Now I don't need I don't need to do a bunch of reading.
Thanks.
Oh, sorry, Joe and Emily.
I'll just be in the corner.
But yeah, like
I carried it. Thank you very much.
But I think that's good. It helps keep people like up to date, or like you learn things that you wouldn't have known before. So I like it for that. And Emily, you're gonna say something?
Oh no, like I just I don't know. I keep going back to the Pokemon fandom, but we're just like we sound so much like what you described for the League of Legends fandom. Like there's so much theories, predictions, discussions, and there's even like fan inside jokes. Like that's the thing with like all communities. Like if you're part of a fan community for a long time, and I think this is really cool. You start to develop they're not even like memes. They're just like running jokes. Like the running joke that Ash is like super strong because there's all these episodes where he's carrying really heavy things, and then like that's just like a Pokemon one. But then you can think of like all of the idol ones, like Fuchon being poor is like a running joke, and it's cool like when it's cool because there's like a sense of camaraderie, I guess, like a sense of community that you get with those kinds of things. So yeah, I feel it too.
I guess
I'm confused what the question actually is. Like, how do you feel about documentaries?
Oh, sorry. You can explain.
Just what's your experience?
I'd say like it's the exact opposite of fan fiction, like what you guys like. Like I like getting into the core details and like just facts and theories. Like it just makes you think and it makes you I guess it makes you feel smarter about the thing that you love.
Because fan fiction makes you stupider.
Yeah, you don't want to act smart when all you know is fan fiction.
Well,
you do not want to do that.
Well, yeah, obviously not.
Yeah, but then once you know all these things, you can open conversation with other people that also know as much as you do, which is, super cool because you guys can make your own theories and you guys can like, what do you like about this fact, like this background of this character, like like a dark history of like I don't know. I can't think of a good example.
I don't know what you said.
Oh no!
A dark history of
pretty much everybody, in like every character.
What are you talking
Do you mean
about?
like the depth of like the characters or the lore helps you like enjoy the thing more with like other people because you have like more stuff to discuss. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like I had a friend who was like a huge like Lord of the Rings like fan, and oh man, there's so much like facts and things. Well, I wouldn't say facts, but like things
World
to know
building.
about this whole universe that is Lord of the Rings, and like wow, like when I heard him like talk about the history like in the beginning of time or whatever, like it got me so interested. Like there's so many things that you can get into and so many things that you can talk about, and like, I was just so like I felt so much respect for his knowledge on Lord of the Rings. So like, do you guys have the same feeling about other people when they know this and that and like I know, Julia, you are a new Idol fan. Like, what do you think about us knowing a lot more about, idols and etc.?
I think it's like really great because then it just shows like how passionate you are. And especially since like with the idol groups that we're into, and there's like so many of like not everyone's just into like AKB or. So then, like, having to keep up with all that, like, sometimes you guys name people, I have no freaking clue who they are. And then I have to, like, go on Wikipedia and then, like, look them up. And then the fact that you remembered some of these things, I'm like...
Or you can just ask us who we're talking about.
Yeah, well, I mean, I also don't want to, like, ruin the flow of the conversation.
Well, here's a good question from the comments, though. How do you feel about elitism in certain communities and fandoms?
Why can't we all be friends, man?
Like I get why it happens, like especially when you're an older fan. Like I've seen it in the AKB community. I've seen it in like every fan community I've been a part of. When you're an older fan and like you see all these like new kids coming in with their progressive ideas or whatever, and it doesn't like a lot of people like to stick with like the classics. And then they get this elite feeling like, well, I was here when it was new. I was here for like the good stuff, and then you guys are just enjoying like the sloppy seconds. But I don't know, like I don't really approve of that kind of knowledge or that kind of thinking or behavior. But I understand why, because it's kind of just like, hey, this was my thing. I was here first.
So
that's not really elitism. That's just more like that's hipsterism.
You're calling them hipsters.
I know, but it's like, but so many of the elitists are hipsters.
That's not.
I don't know. I think so.
Well, it depends on the community, I think. For example, like,
I guess maybe not for idols.
If there's something that's like skill based, like.
Oh yeah.
Like Street Fighter, then like if you're good, then like and people aren't, then okay, there's that.
I mean.
Idols?
I don't think for idols, except for like SKE fans are super elitist.
I just because I want more people to know Japanese instead of me, so like I can be lazy and get news from people instead of me having to break news. But that's fine.
I mean, going back to like my topic on like documentation and information giving, like that's why I like it, because the more information you know, the more elite you are. And like the more you feel elite, the better it is. I mean, like it's very like a selfish or very narcissistic like feeling. But like people like that. I mean, I would assume, the more like like Joe knows a lot about NMB and stuff like. But he doesn't necessarily think that he knows a lot about NMB. So I mean, he doesn't feel the eliteness, I guess. But I'd say
you need to talk to me some more, so I can push you.
I mean, do you feel that, Joe? Like, do you feel good about knowing a lot about NMB? It's more than the average person.
I don't really care. I mean, the only thing I care about is that if people are interested, then they can ask me. and I can be like, hey, dude, like, did you know this? That's pretty cool. And then, maybe they learn something. Like, for the longest time, people did. I mean, like, I don't want to say for the longest time, but there are, like, a lot of people that didn't know, like, the Fuchan is poor joke. And I'm just like, I think that's hilarious. I want to tell people about, like, these jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you can also have that feeling where you want to teach other people about the thing you love, so you have more information about it. Just to prepare yourself for the questions that they ask.
I think the thing I hate the most is when people act like they know something but they don't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it'd be like like a guy that says like, "Oh, I'm like the greatest NMB fan," and then they don't know like, I don't know,
basic stuff.
like all the members, I guess. Like, I don't know.
I mean, the more elite you feel about like a fan base or about like some kind of community, the more you feel like you're into it, and like when you first become a member of this fan base, that's what you want to do. I think that's the first thing you would want to do for most people.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, well, it looks like we are running out of time.
All right. Well,
Oh, we got 10 minutes.
yeah, we have time.
We're trying to go for 40 minutes, not 30.
Oh, not 30?
Yeah.
I was going for 30 because I'm sleepy as hell.
Oh, okay.
But
well, then how about we just roll into our last topic, if you guys are ready, or you want to keep continuing with this?
no, I'm not ready.
Never ready.
All right, go. No.
Okay.
Go on.
So
Are we done with the thing?
would you guys want to keep talking about elitism or lack
I'm
thereof?
done with it.
All right, we'll just move on.
Yeah, let's go.
You're the
Alright.
moderator. You need to take charge.
All right.
That was cute.
Oh, anyway, okay. So then our last topic is, well, are you involved in any fan-created media? So briefly cover maybe a few things you've done and talk about why you do it.
Man, I wanted this question just because we were supposed to have Jimmy and we are supposed to have Dave. Jimmy does covers of songs. Dave has all his bajillion podcasts and stuff.
Right.
You got me instead.
then there's us, like, we're like,
Like charity casuals.
Like we did Takoyaki Party, but that was mostly for news. Like it wasn't supposed to be like fan media where we like make up stuff or create like lore, I guess as Wilson would call it. Like we never did anything. I just wanted to make, like what's going on with inside jokes in the community. Like the most I have is like what is it? That meme maker for Nagisa no brain. That's all I have. Or I just post pictures of her like being stupid and like making. I like she doesn't actually say those things. I hope people know that.
Spreading misinformation by accident.
Yeah, seriously, the power of fan works. I don't know, like Oh, no, go ahead. I didn't have anything important.
Okay. Well, to tie in like my previous topic to this, that's what I want to do with my new YouTube channel is to document things. That's actually one of my primary intentions with my YouTube channel is to document how like what fans do, like in actual like fan events in AKB48. Like two shots, handshake events, and concerts, blah blah blah. Because when I first became a fan, I had no idea what to do, and I was already planning a trip to Japan. I was like, oh yes, I'm so excited. I'm an idol fan. I'm gonna do this, that. And when I got there, I did nothing because I had no idea what to do. I didn't know how to apply for a handshake ticket. I didn't know how to apply for theater shows. So I was just like, well, crap. And I didn't want to spend time looking for a forum thread, that had instructions on like how to do this and this and that. I don't think there were many back in the day. It was like 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. So there isn't like specific step-to-step things that's like easy for me to understand, like especially since everything's in Japanese over there, if you could imagine. So
God, that's such a bad joke.
I was waiting for it, but
Wait, that was a joke?
Yes, people in Japan speak Japanese. I don't know if you know that.
Oh.
You missed it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I heard it. I was like, that's not a joke. That's just a fact.
He's being sarcastic. That's a joke.
Oh.
But yeah.
Anyway, Wilson, you were saying.
Yeah, that's one of the segments I would do for my YouTube channel is to see what birthday communities do, see what what fans do, and like the actual fan community in Japan, because like Joe and I has discussed this before. Like we have no idea what mainstream is like in the Japanese fan community. So I would like to get into that and tell everybody here in the overseas community.
Oh, so that's why you brought up the documentary stuff. You're like, what do you think about documentaries? Because I'm making one.
Yeah.
Plug. Yeah, there you go.
I see your plan, dude. I see it.
Shameless promotion. But yeah.
Right.
Any of you guys have any other media?
Well, I do a little writing. I did when I was like unemployed like a month ago.
Dude, unemployment sucks.
Yeah, it does. So when I had a lot of time on my hands, I like wanted to pick up writing again because I did a little bit creative writing in high school, and then I started playing D&D, and I was like, okay, I'll just like use D&D as a vehicle through which to use my writing. So I feel like it wasn't really like about a specific character. It was just like, okay, I'm just gonna use my own character and I'm gonna write about what we did, but I'm gonna like embellish it so it's like there's like adjectives and like actual sentences. Where it's like, oh, you roll a d20 crit, and then I'd go on like, okay, there's a tavern and whatever. So I feel like in general, like I do it because it like making like fan content gives you like a starting point, like and where it's like easy to create something, because then you don't have to like, okay, the world is gonna be like this. There's gonna be this kind of technology and like whatever. This is like the backstory for my character, because then like you can just draw from what's already created and then like make your own thing. So that's why I do it. I write for myself, not for like.
Well, I think D&D is a little bit different, right? Because
you're
you're practically already creating your own story. Now you're just writing it down and embellishing it, as you say.
Yeah, it is a little bit. But there's also like famous characters like Dritz Jordan. Not that any of you guys would.
I've heard the name.
Yeah.
I've heard like those books are good. I kind of want to read them when I have time. But...
Yeah, they're not bad. I have the audiobooks. Got them for free.
Well,
but
yeah.
So
No, D&D is different because like the game itself is made so that it's made by fans.
Right, but then I feel like it's also like I only included it because it's like within the D&D universe, and in a sense like that's kind of like being a fan of D&D in general, and then that branches off into sort of like slightly different from fan fiction, but like still fan related. So yeah.
Did you know Dragon Quest I was based off of a D&D game? Yeah.
I did not know that. Did not know.
The more
that.
you know.
Okay. Just like League of Legends and Dota came from Warcraft 3.
Yes.
The more you
Warcraft
know.
is so good.
That, like, when you're talking about like fan media, I think those are really interesting examples.
Like because they kept their own game and everything, and their own huge followings.
They're even more popular than their original material.
No. They crushed their senpais. Right.
I really wish that we had like Dave and Jim. I really wanted to ask Jimmy about like, how he covers.
Oh my God! I'm sorry, I'm not Dave and Jimmy.
Well, maybe we can have like.
Well, I mean, like this question was
segment.
designed for them,
right?
And then Jimmy left at the last minute because.
Right.
His glutes was torn.
His glutes are leaking.
Well, maybe we can have extras where we ask them this question and then like. I don't know, post it up later.
Oh, if we had more viewers, then we could ask them questions. No, 5 viewers. Ugh.
Thanks for
Well, yours asked us some questions.
We can have a bonus episode or something, I don't know.
Alright, so
if you really want.
So I went, Wilson went, Joe went. Do you have anything else to add, Emily?
Nothing too productive. No, nothing.
It's what's been said
is
is
not a very productive person. So.
No, the way she said nothing means that she has something, but it's probably really embarrassing.
Now you have to say it. Now you have to say it.
It's all good.
To give the audience what they want to hear, all 5 members of them.
All 5 members of the audience. No, I don't have anything that good, actually.
Just say it. If it's not so good, it doesn't matter.
No, like, really, I don't have anything.
Probably rude.
Is that R-rated Sayamilky fanfiction?
Oh my gosh, no.
R-rated.
It exists, though.
NC-17? Should I say that?
Not safe for work is my favorite.
It exists.
No, I'm sure it does.
I mean, like, if you go to Comic Head, you can find porn of, like, train lines becoming dudes and making out with each other, so...
That's not even the weirdest stuff, though. Like, man...
You didn't even go to Comic Head, did you?
No, but that, like, I don't mean at Comic Head, just, like...
In general.
Of, like, doujinshi. Like, people write the weirdest things. Like, man, I'm glad this isn't a licensed manga, because... I would never want to see that on a shelf.
Well,
Anyway.
on that note, we do a wrap up.
Sure.
So, do you guys have any finishing thoughts or comments you'd like to make?
Be safe on the internet, kids.
Well, regarding fan-created media.
Be safe with fan-created media, too. Because kids are really impressionable. And everybody's impressionable. Like, if somebody, whether they're, like, an elitist fan or not, if they're, you know, they have, like, seniority in the fandom, and they're saying things, you're bound to, like, well, not bound to, but you're more likely to believe them.
Yeah,
and
that would have been a good topic
true.
to talk about. Oh, man.
Oh. But that's what I feel like happens with, no name dropping, but I feel like it happens on Ask FM a lot with certain users. And
Jesus Christ, how you're not being subtle at all.
No, but it's like people just like...
Yeah, you know their name begins with an M, and ends with Elon.
But no, I would say like with the SKU community too, like there were like 2 big translators, and sometimes the things they said were like really contradictory. I'm like, okay, well somebody's right, somebody's not, or like there's a middle ground that's not being reached. And so it's like depending on whose blog you read, you're gonna have a totally different interpretation of what's going on. So I don't know.
I don't think that's so much. Well, some of it's fan based. I was thinking about like how translators have a lot of power, but that's something else.
But in general, like I think we've touched on before that fan created content can have like a lot of power.
Yeah, that's my takeaway message.
Is that a Fluttershy on your bed? Asks Mr. Daly.
I do.
Daly is correct.
She's so cute.
I love Fluttershy.
I don't know any of this pony crap, so.
Sorry.
I also really like Rarity. I didn't like Rarity.
But
I mean, you want to talk.
We can have a separate pony.
Sorry.
All right, Joe Wilson. Oh, we'll start with Joe if you have any extra thoughts.
Oh, someone with a blog named Scorp. Haha, good one. M-Lim. Who is M-Lim? I don't know. Probably someone really cool. No, I don't have anything to say. Yeah, fan stuff. Boo. I don't know.
Wilson?
For me, I would say just know that they are fan created. Like, yeah, know that. And and I also hope that you do not, whoever is watching, become too reliant on fan created media. I mean, they're great, fantastic forms of entertainment, but don't forget the content itself. All right, because that is good too. I hope. All right.
And my final thoughts are that fan-created content can be good and bad. Good being helps you enjoy the stuff that you love even more. Bad being there's like cringeworthy stuff out there that just makes you question why you like it or why people do this to the things that you love.
You know what? Oh man, if Dave Chang was here, I know Wilson knows, and probably Emily knows too. The Amina turkey leg story.
Yeah.
Oh god, that was the
I don't know what
greatest
that is, but
fanfiction
it
I've ever
sounds
read.
odd.
Oh no.
You know what I think about it? Like that's fan created media I actually kind of enjoy just because it's so bad, and it's intensely bad.
Right.
Anyway, but man,
For another time.
I never thought I would think about that fan fiction ever again, but here we are.
Oh, you liar! You know you love it. Probably like reading daily.
He has it bookmarked at the top.
Probably his home screen on his phone.
Yeah. So.
Right. On that note, this has been the My Glutes podcast. Again, new title still pending. We hope you enjoyed watching, and maybe you'll bookmark our podcast.
Oh, clever!
Yeah! So hope to see you guys next week. This has been Julia, Wilson, Joe, and special guest Emily. Hope to see you guys next week. Good night.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.